Hi guys, happy Monday. This is lesson 12. So for this lesson, we're going to be creating a rule to generate a number pattern and plot the points. So again, pretty similar to what we've been doing so far, but of course, each time we go through these lessons, we're learning something new or it's getting a little bit more difficult. All right, I am on page 66. So if you need to get your book, open it to the right page, you can pause me at any time. All right, number 1 says, write a rule for the line that contains the points 0, 3/4, and 2.5, 3 1/4. Okay, so when I look at this, I notice that the y value is more than the x value. I'm gonna look over here to see if it's the same. The y value is more than the x value. So I know when you move from the x to the y or vice versa, you get bigger going from the x and the y, which means it's either going to be addition or it's going to be multiplication. So I'm gonna first start with addition. I know that when I'm add 0 plus 3/4, I get 3/4. So the rule for this one so far looks like it's adding 3/4. But again, you have to prove that with a second point. So if this is not the rule, x plus 3/4 equal y, if that's not the rule, then that won't work here. All right, so let's test it out. We have 2.5. If I have the rule correct, adding x plus 3/4 should get me to the y. So let's check to see if that actually does work here. I don't have to change my my denominators. Oh, I wrote this wrong. Sorry, guys. I do have to change my denominators. This is 2.5. So then I have to change this into a 4. So it becomes 2 2/4 plus 3/4. So I get 2 5/4. I cannot leave this as an improper fraction. That ends up being 1 1/4. So if I add 2 plus 1 1/4, I get 3 1/4. So that checks out. That y value is the same as what I got here. So the rule is y is 3/4 more than x. I could also write the rule saying like x plus 3/4 equals y. That's another option. It's the same thing, just a different way to write the rule. X plus 3/4 equals y. Either of those would be fine. All right, they want us to identify 2 more points on the line and then draw the line on the grid below. So I can assign any x value that I want. I just know that when I do that, I need to add 3/4 to it to get to the y value. So let's do 1/4 as the x value. So if I add, remember the rule is y is 3/4 more or x plus 3/4 equals y. If I add 1/4 plus 3/4, I get 1. Here, I'm gonna make the y value, let's do 4. Oopsies. So 4 plus 3/4, I just get 4 3/4. All right, they want us to draw the line on this plane right here. So we're gonna plot B and C. So we got 1/4, 1, 4, 4 3/4. These points that I did are really spread apart. So I'm actually gonna add in this point right here from above, because I don't want to make my line incorrect. It's kind of easier if there's a point in the middle to kind of connect the lines. So I'm going to do 2 1/2, 3 1/4. This way I can better draw my line. Ruler. So take your straight edge and draw that line. I'm also going to label these points B and C. So this was B, and this point up here was C. Okay, write a rule for the line, for a line that is parallel to BC and goes through the point 1 1/4. Okay, so I'm first gonna find this point, 1 and 1/4. All right, now for this line, how I draw it, for it to be parallel to this line, that means it needs to be the same number of units down for all of the points. So for example, I've already plotted this point. I'm gonna count these boxes down. Each box represents 1/4, okay? So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6 boxes down, which means any other point that I graph needs to be 6 boxes down from line BC. So I'll just, how about start here? 1. There's 1, I'll just do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now they want us to write the rule. So I already have this point 1 and 1/4. I also have this point 2 1/2, 1 3/4. I also did this point, which is 3 1/2, 2 3/4. Okay, so let's try and figure out what the rule could possibly be. I'm noticing when I go from X to Y, I'm actually getting smaller this time. Before it was getting bigger from X to Y, now it's getting smaller. So right now I'm thinking, it's Y plus something gets you to X, or X minus something gets you to Y. It could even be multiplying this way. I want to first try subtraction. So what could I subtract to get from 2 1/2 to 1 3/4? So that's what I want you to think about right now. Go ahead and pause the video and try to come up with a rule that you think would apply to these points. So remember, whatever you get here, the rule also needs to work with this point. So please pause now. Okay, the rule for this one is Y is 3/4 less than X. You could have also done like X minus 3/4 equals Y, or something like that. Do they want us to? I'm just gonna plot this line. They don't say to do it, but we might as well. Okay, create a rule for the line that contains the points 1 1/4 and 3 3/4. All right, well, I already did 1 1/4 down here. Let's find 3 3/4 and plot that one. So here's 3, going up 3/4 and get to here. Okay, so let's draw this line. All right. So we want to find a rule. So when I go from left to right, I'm noticing that I'm getting smaller going this way, smaller going this way. So first thing I think of is subtraction. So what could I subtract? 1 minus what would get me to 1/4? Well, I could do 1 minus 3/4. That equals 1/4. So if this were the rule, we could think of like x minus 3/4 equals y. So that works for this first point, but remember I need to check it here. So if this rule is correct, then that means I can do 3 minus 3/4, and that should equal the y value of 3/4. But that doesn't, there's no, you know, you're gonna get 2 1/4 here. So this rule actually doesn't work. So now I'm thinking, all right, I maybe need to divide. So from 1 to 1/4, what could I either multiply or divide? Well, I know that 1 times 1/4 would get me to 1/4. It's easy to start with a 1, right? So 1 times 1/4, that equals 1/4. So I'm gonna erase this because this rule was not correct. So now I'm thinking, all right, my rule might be x times 1/4 equals y. If that's correct, then this is going to work. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and see if that these 2 points work with this rule. All right, so you should have seen that it actually does work. So this rule could be written a couple different ways. You could write it as x times 1/4 equal y. You could write it as 1 is 1/4 y. Either of those would work here. Okay, identify 2 more points on this line and then plot them. So I'm gonna give you the x values. I want you to find the y values and then go ahead and plot them on the line. So please pause the video now, find the 2 y values. Remember, you're using this rule up here. All right, you should have gotten 1/2 and 1. And then when you plot them, they should fall on this line. So we got 2 and 1/2, that works. That's letter G. H is 4, 1. So it looks like I didn't plot this exactly correct. The line is a little bit up, but it does fall on that line.